Also I heard the voice of the Lord, saying, Whom shall I send, and who will go for us? Then I said, Here am I, send me. There's something about that moment that feels quiet, but weighty. Isaiah isn't hyping himself up. He's not making a big speech. He just hears the Lord ask a question, and he answers. Here am I, send me. And I think what stands out is how simple that response is. No negotiation. No, well, what exactly does that involve? No, let me think about it for a few days. Just availability. And that's honestly where most of this lives. Not in having everything figured out. Not in feeling fully prepared. Not in being the most qualified person in the room. Just being willing. It kind of reminds me of those moments on a ride where you come up on a road you weren't planning to take. Maybe it's a turn you've passed before, never really thought about, but today you slow down just a bit and think, all right, let's see where this goes. There's a small decision there. You can stay on the route you already mapped out, or you can trust enough to take the turn. And Isaiah, in that moment, takes the turn. Now, what's interesting, if you read the rest of that chapter, is that the mission he's stepping into isn't exactly easy or encouraging. It's not a comfortable assignment. It's not something most people would sign up for if they knew all the details ahead of time. But he doesn't ask for all that first. He just offers himself. Here am I. And I think that's where this lands for us. Because a lot of times we want clarity before obedience. We want the full route, turn-by-turn directions, maybe even a guarantee that it's all going to work out the way we hope. But God's question here isn't, who has it all figured out? It's, who's willing to go? Who's available? Who's listening? Who's ready to move when called, even if the road ahead isn't fully visible yet? And that can show up in really ordinary ways. A conversation that you feel nudged to have. A situation where you know you should step in instead of staying quiet. A direction that doesn't necessarily make sense on paper, but you can't quite shake it either. Those little moments where you feel that internal, hey, this might be for you. And in those moments, the response doesn't have to be complicated. It can be just as simple as Isaiah's, here am I. So, as we draw this work week to an end, maybe that's the posture to carry with you into the weekend. Not pressured, not overthought. Just open, available, willing to say yes before you have every detail lined up. Because sometimes the most meaningful roads you'll ride are the ones you didn't plan, but chose to trust anyway. Here am I. Send me. Thank you for joining us here today, my friends, my family, and anyone else that might be listening and riding along, as we draw this here work week to an end. Hope to see you here on Sunday, and we'll do this again. And until then, I'll be willing. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.